Hi everybody, I'm Stacy with Stacy's Organizing and Decorating for Life, or stacyforlife.com. I'm here to help you organize your thoughts and decorate your perspectives. So today we're really going to talk about organizing thoughts and decorating perspectives. I wanted today's topic to be called That's What People Do. And I want to talk about my recovery a little bit because we're all recovering on a global level right now. And I also wanted to talk about serendipity, because I think there's a lot of hope and excitement in serendipity. So if you like that's going to be our topic today, please hit the like button below and the subscribe and the bell if you haven't already. So when the topic of That's What People Do came up, it's because last week one of my housemates, we're in a place where we're in the house with the same people, whether it's family or roommates or what have you, every day. So one of my housemates said the other day that people were complaining on Facebook about this certain thing, and I said, well, that's what people do. Because it's funny that people complain about these things, but oftentimes people are actually doing the same things that they're complaining about. So I wanted to call us for a call of consciousness, as usual in these videos. So I myself got tied up in a thing on Facebook and unaware, because people are running with fear and uncertainty right now. Not everybody, but some are. And then there's the other side that they're really showing the humor and stuff, and that's really the side that I choose to be on. So I was on a page and I saw a post and I just made a comment, and I thought that it was a supporting comment or a nice comment, but then somebody commented back, and they actually kind of were persecuting me and my thoughts, because I was just sharing my belief, but I wasn't trying to force my belief. I was just trying to uplift it, uplift things a little. And they come back and they were like really not nice. So I just told them, in kind. And so I wasn't, being mean to them because they were being mean. And then their next comment was even more character assassinating, and they don't even know me, and I don't know them either. So what I did was I commented, I said, look, you're not being very nice, so I'm just not going to interact with you right now. Peace and blessings, And afterwards I was really grateful that I did that, because then I realized that I thought that I was commenting on one thing, but I was commenting on something else that I don't usually comment on, like I said. So I actually just a few hours or a day later or something, I removed myself from that group so I didn't make that mistake again. It wasn't that I was pissed off at the group or even that person, because I don't even know that person, and that person's reality that person's illusion doesn't have to be my reality, is what I'm trying to say. So I just decided that I didn't want to make that mistake again, because I know in my own Facebook etiquette thoughts that I think sometimes when I make a post and it hits somebody's nerve and I've never heard from them before, and then they decide to comment on it, which mine wasn't a bad comment, like I said. I thought it was a nice comment, but it wasn't taken that way. So, but anyway, I wonder what the hell when people never comment on my stuff, and all of a sudden they make a comment when I strike a nerve. So, I just removed myself, so I didn't do that anymore. And I kind of felt bad and embarrassed, in all honesty, that I didn't realize that I was on the wrong page. So, and knowing how I feel, see, this is what I mean about consciousness, because I know how I feel when somebody makes a comment on a page that I don't interact, on my page, and they don't interact very much, so that's why I did that. You see what I'm saying is once we start looking at ourselves, then we understand that our decisions are made on our thoughts and our perspectives, not on how somebody else is acting. But this is the thing, is right now, in us being confined in spaces with people, that we aren't able to interact with as many people. So we may catch ourselves bitching at people about the same things we do, or we may, and we don't realize we're doing those things. And then we also may feel like we're controlling and micromanaging, because maybe we had a supervisory position and we're not going to work anymore, and the people aren't getting paid that work under us or that are with us in our family or in our homes, and they certainly don't appreciate it. Not that the others did anyway, but it makes it feel better when you're getting a paycheck. So anyway, you're micromanaging, and are you hurting people's feelings when you do? So we're really getting to get a look at what's important to us right now, our thoughts and our communications with other people, and are we, we're just uncertain. I mean, there's a lot of fear about work and about health, So I'm not saying that those aren't valid fears, but I'm saying we can't let them run us. And what we do today is, once this stuff is over, is going to be implanted in our future, and that serendipity that I'm talking about. So I was glad that when I interacted with this person, that I wished her peace and blessings, because when I say something like that, I'm projecting that onto myself. You understand? Does that make sense? So make sure what you project onto somebody else is something you want to project onto yourself. It's kind of like that your parents tell you do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But then as we get grown, that kind of goes out the window, right? And then sometimes people are like, when people are being shitty to them, they think, well, I need to be shitty back. We need to have boundaries, but we don't have to be an asshole. So we're going to talk about that. It's unfortunate that what we do oftentimes is when we're feeling uncomfortable, we do project and we tend to make other people feel uncomfortable. If we're feeling uncomfortable, inadequate because we've lost our identity with what we thought we were, if we identified ourselves with our jobs, if we identified ourselves with this, that, or the other, and we can no longer participate in that, we may feel like we've lost our identity. The good thing is that you can retrieve that and be different. And I know that when I was in my addiction, I identified with being in my addiction. I still identify with being an addict, but I'm not in my addiction. But I have to remember that on a daily basis. So I'm grateful, very grateful that I have recovery at this time of my life, because one of the big things is that these cliches that we hear in recovery that we don't like, but that stick with us, are like one day at a time, because we just take this thing that we're going through right now, all this uncertainty and everything, just one day at a time. And hopefully I'm going to be able to help you today to get some tips and things to where at nighttime you don't have to feel bad when you do your inventory at nighttime of your day, that you're not running on anger from yesterday and not running on anger from tomorrow or anger in this day, that you're able to go to bed and not feel bad and then rationalize and justify your behavior for hurting somebody else's feelings. So I'm hoping I can help y'all with that. The first step is that we were powerless over our whatever, and that our lives were unmanageable. So I don't know what your whatever is, but you know we're powerless over this thing, this illness, the health, the economic thing. We're powerless. And then, your life may be unmanageable. You may be wondering how you're going to pay this, how you're going to do this. Those are unmanageable problems, granted. So reflecting on that and knowing that that's what you're doing. And, you may have to write it out. We write it out in recovery, is that I'm powerless and that my life is unmanageable. You didn't cause this thing that's going on for the most part, but I do believe that the earth is trying to regenerate, that it's a calling for a time of regenerating and us figuring out what's really important to us. So the second step is that we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. You may feel like you're going insane now because you don't have a clear and right schedule and routine and habit. A habit is something that you do consciously. You start a habit because you decide you're going to do this, or you decide you're going to do that. And I don't know if it's an addiction or not, but it might be an unhealthy habit for you to have. And it may be something you may be needing to give up. It may be as simple as being critical and criticizing people and judging people. So I'm just saying that a habit is something that you do, and then you subconsciously do it later, because once you start doing it, you start doing it without realizing that you're doing it. And that's how it becomes a habit. So you may need to change your habit, and it may be causing you insanity, because if you're upsetting people and they don't want to talk to you or spend time with you, and that's the way they're going to be if you micromanage them, is they won't want to be around you if you're putting them down to lift yourself up, because you think that decompressing that way. See, and you're not even thinking that. I don't even think that people think that. I think that they decompress that way, they unload, and what's called is a transference of anger. And so people will unload on somebody else and then they feel better, but this other person is feeling like shit. So this is something you may have to turn over. That's insane to think that people are going to want to be around you if you try to control them and manipulate them and hurt them because you're hurting. Does that make sense? Okay, and then the third step in recovery is that we made a decision. So you're going to make a decision to turn your will and your life over to the care of God as you understand God. Now, I understand that what that means is that's what people do, is a part of people having different concepts of God. It could be your learned God, that you had, and you may not like that God, and that's okay, because a power greater than yourself can be many different things. Just being willing to turn that over. And it can be your health at this time, is that you've got your health because your heart is beating, because you've got this will inside of you that desires to live, that you have no control over. And you may not even want to live, but your heart's still going to beat. Your lungs are still going to breathe as long as you've got this life force in you. So we can all say, if you don't like the concept of God, you have a life force. And that life force is going to be here after this is over. If you don't get sick and everything else, then this is going to be with you when this is over. And many different things have came and gone and been over. So we have no reason to think that this is not going to become and go and be over eventually too. So remember that this life force in itself can be that power greater than yourself, because at times people want to die and you just can't die until it's your time, or until whatever. I don't even know. We're not even going to get into that. Grief was last month. This is this now. So I'm trying to share my recovery. Remember, 1, we admitted that we were powerless and that our lives were unmanageable. 2 is that we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand, or our higher power. So you get to define what your higher power is going to be. Your higher power doesn't have to be my higher power. Your higher power doesn't have to be your parents' higher power. Your higher power can be anybody, but you have to realize that there's power greater than yourself. Certainly, if you can believe in this virus, or you can believe in 5G, or you can believe in all that and believe that's power greater than yourself, you can certainly believe that your vital life force is a power greater than yourself, because you will overcome this. If you believe that you will, I truly believe that. Unless you got subconscious things going on, and I don't know about all that. But anyway, we believe, many great people have said that whatever our beliefs are true, like Ford and everybody else. If you believe it, that's what's true, and so just believe that things are going to change, and I like the stories that I'm hearing about people talking to their neighbors and such now, and things like this that people used to do a long time ago before they were trying to keep up with the Joneses, and so I think that there's some great power and great positivity coming out of this. And if it were to, the thing is I don't look for it to be over with real soon. Like, I'm not saying that it's going to be over in a day or two, because I don't believe that it's run its course, because whatever this is something that has to run its course. It has to bring about that consciousness and awareness that it was designed to do. And I don't know that it was designed to do anything, but our consequences are always designed to change us too. So whether it's that we've torn up the earth and she's upset and so it's coming out this way, or else it's greed and it's coming out that way, or else if it's this thing that's sick, whatever it's come to transform us, because that's what it's doing. That's what a power greater than ourselves lets us know. I'm not saying that this power, if you've heard or learned a power greater than yourself is punishing you, I'm going to disagree with that. I think that it's ourselves, our own souls punishing whoever, that it's a consequence of our own not being aligned or whatever, our own issues here. I don't believe that anybody else. I believe that greed could play a big part in it, and that it's the ugly side, because there are polarities. And what polarities do is that if something's not pretty, it reveals something else that is pretty. And so that's life on life's terms. So with that being said, I hope that this has helped you some. If you need any help, if you are feeling really stressed, and you are, feeling like you can't go on or what have you, feel free always to come, if you want to know. See, this is another thing in recovery, is if you want help with your problem, I only want to know what your problem is and what you want to do about it. I don't have time if you don't want to do something about your problem. But if you want help with your problem and you need somebody to talk to, I can give you 20, 30 minutes of my time. I can give that to you so that you can maybe organize and compartmentalize your thoughts, because I know that you are probably struggling with that right now, because there's no organization right now, right? We don't know what's organized right now. So I'm grateful for my recovery. I hope that you enjoyed me sharing some of my recovery with you. That's the foundation of our recovery that gets us to really seeking and looking at ourselves. And so I just wanted to be able to share that with you today because we are all in recovery mode. And that's what I know about, is I do know about recovery. So with that being said, I hope that I get to see you again next week. I wish you much peace and love and blessings too. So there's something else I want to share. Hold on a minute. I remember now. When I went to the doctor a few weeks ago and she was telling me, oh, this is coming here, and now we're doing this, you know. But how she showed me is hugs is like this. So when she hugged me, because normally down here we're huggers, you know, we hug and we kiss each other, but we can't anymore. So she showed me, so I wish you hugs and love and peace. So with that being said, I'll let you go, and I look forward to talking to you again next Wednesday. Remember, you can contact me, stacyreinick@gmail.com, or I'm on Instant Messenger on Facebook or WhatsApp. So I look forward to seeing you, and until then, bye. Bye.